Hey friends, it's Eden here, and if you're new to my channel, I help aspiring beautypreneurs create their first natural beauty product or beauty product line for either hair or skin or men's grooming, childcare, a variety of different niches. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different for those of you who aren't new to my channel. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the spiritual aspects of how I teach and what I do. And I'm going to start off with this video, and this will help you figure out whether you're interested in this little series or not, okay? But 5 signs you might be a merchant priest or priestess. Okay, so I'm not going to go into any formal training. I personally am not a priestess, formally trained, right? But I am talking about the merchant priestess as an archetype, or the merchant priest as an archetype, meaning just a set of character orientations that you might resonate with, or just having an overarching pattern in your life, or in regards to your beauty business, right, that you might relate to. If you want more details about the actual merchant priesthood, I'll link a video in the description below. A friend of mine by the name of Ayman Sawaf wrote an amazing book called Sacred Commerce and The Rise of the Global Citizen, and I will link it in the description box below. And I will talk a little bit more about sacred commerce, you know, in future videos in this series. But for now, I just want to talk about 5 signs that might indicate to you that you are a merchant priest or merchant priestess. And I hope this video will give you permission to do things differently so you can honor that aspect of yourself. And you'll find that you'll be able to do your business with much more love and joy and ease and integrity, if these are principles that are guiding you or calling you. Okay, so let's get into the first sign that you might be a merchant priest or priestess. The old way of doing business, any kind of slimy sales tactics or anything that feels manipulative, and I'll speak specifically to beauty and wellness products now. Anything that is targeted or marketed in a way that makes you feel inadequate about how you present yourself, that make you feel like I'm too fat, that make you feel like, you know, my hair isn't straight enough or sleek enough or full enough, or I can't just leave the house as I am, that I'm aging too quickly, I need to do things about my wrinkles and my spots on my face and this and that. Now, of course, I'm not talking about hygiene, right? And I'm not talking about just basic self-care, because the skin is an organ, right? The skin is your largest organ. It breathes, it needs nourishment, it needs no oils, it needs to be taken care of, it needs to be washed. If not, you will get skin diseases of various sorts. So I'm not talking about things that actually are about anointing your body temple and making it feel and look its best in that way, but things that are designed to make people feel inadequate or feel like they always have to put a certain kind of face forward. Something about that doesn't feel good to you, you know? And so you've maybe taken training courses that encourage you to do that, you know. It's one thing to address someone's pain points. It's another thing to continually dig at them and pick at them to make people feel like they can't function if they, you know, if they don't buy your product. That is kind of the difference. And if that makes you feel uncomfortable, you might be a merchant priest or priestess, okay? The second sign that you might be a merchant priest or priestess is that you understand that when you have a platform, that it's your sacred outreach. whether you want to call it your own personal temple, your own personal church, your own personal mosque, your own personal TED talk, if you're an atheist. You understand that this is an opportunity to educate people, to love people, to make them feel welcome. If they came to your store, you wouldn't proceed to make them feel unwelcome and inadequate. So why would you do that on your platform, right? So if you feel that way about how you teach, you want to kind of give people tips that they can use with or without your product that will actually enrich their lives. If you feel that that feels more comfortable to you, you can do that all day long. But that's not actually what's being asked of you. What's being asked of you is to constantly be putting products in people's faces in order to get ahead. And that feels bad to you, which might be why you're not actually showing up to sell. Then you might be a merchant priest or priestess. The third sign that you might be a merchant priest or priestess, let me just look at my notes really quick, is that because you understand that your platform is your ministry, is your outreach, is your sacred temple, is the altar on which you offer things, right? You understand that you take every interaction as sacred, right? Because you understand that behind every transaction, behind every post, behind every like is an actual human being. And behind that human being is an actual life, right? So you respond to all your messages, the ones that you see, the ones that you're able to, the ones that obviously aren't so rude and demanding and out of order. I mean, just because you're a merchant priestess and you're loving, it doesn't mean that you can't have proper boundaries, right? And even those you respond to with love, but with boundaries and firmness. And, hey, we're all humans. Maybe someone catches you on the wrong day. You have a headache, you haven't eaten, and you've been up all night because your child's been sick. I don't know. They just catch you on the wrong day and maybe you while out on them. But you're not ordinarily like that. 95% of the time, you appreciate the humanity behind the human beings that are reaching out to you, right? You don't look at every human being who shows up on your doorstep as a dollar sign, right? Then you might be a merchant priest or priestess. The fourth sign, let me have another look at my notes here. Yes, you can't sell stuff you don't believe in. You just can't. And I mean, some people are able to do it. They can sell pots and pans that they don't care about. I'm not saying that everyone who sells a pot or a pan doesn't care about it. There are people who are very passionate about their pots and pans, right? Maximum respect to those people. But I'm talking about just selling for the sake of selling, where it's a job, you're in the beauty product business, because for you, it's a get-rich-quick scheme. It's just another thing you can throw on your Amazon store. It's just, something else. You actually cannot thrive on any model that you're not 100% bought into. And, I had an experience where, I had other sales jobs before, and I never was a top performer. I was either in the middle or between the bottom and the middle, just kind of very lackluster performance. And even though I'd try and I'd implement all the steps, I just could never get ahead. And then I had an experience, which I'll be talking about in a webinar that will be linked in the description box below, where I suddenly was able to become a top salesperson without even trying. And it's because I employed all the methods of the merchant priesthood without actually knowing that that's what I was doing in my selling. And I'll be talking more in the webinar about how to do that. But if you don't have your heart in it, if you're not passionate about it, if you don't really believe in it, if you're not using the product yourself in your own life, you just can't sell it to other people. You can't do it, won't do it. And even if you try, you just kind of fall short. because you're a merchant priest or priestess. You know, it just does not resonate with you. It doesn't honor your own sacred contract with yourself, you know, to do things with love and with integrity that elevate humanity and, you know, protect the planet for our children, grandchildren, whatever. Okay, so the fifth sign is that when I became that top sales person, one of the things that allowed me to do so was knowing that what I was selling was transformational. It was transforming people physically before my eyes. It was transforming how they went home from that retreat center. It was transforming how they interacted with their families. It was impacting their families in their life, right? You know, different things were happening for them that were just truly life-changing. It was no longer about just that $110 product or $180 product or $40 product or whatever. It was a whole shift in their outlook upon life, their spiritual connection, their ability to be present for their life, their ability to make better choices. You know, all of that hinged on the interaction that went on around that product, right? Because the product itself was an excellent product and it did really seriously help on a physical level or on a spiritual level or on a mental level, depending on what product I was selling at the time. But it was everything that was around how they ended up buying that product, which gave them the ability to implement the instructions to use that product properly and be consistent with it. It's like there was a whole, there was like a grid around that product, an energetic grid that allowed people to do their very best. And so if you're selling something where you don't see those kind of results, you just do not resonate with it. And it becomes very hard to show up to sell it. Like, you can only sell products that you know are anchored in a deeper philosophy, in a deeper meaning that touches people truly in their lives. You're not about selling people unnecessary stuff that they don't need. You're not about helping people, you know, hone up on their materialism. You know, I'm not saying that you're anti-capitalism, but you're not into capitalism without a conscience. You know, you really are wanting to abide by the principles of sacred commerce. So if all of these things are things that you resonate with, I really encourage you to sign up for the webinar below, where I'll be talking more about how you can create a guided customer journey from first meeting you all the way to the sale. And even if you don't get to the sale, everything around what you've done leading up to the offer brings you in more business. Because even if that person doesn't buy from you, they have you on their vision board to buy from you in the future, or they're telling their friends, or you're just creating so much good karma that other people just are going to come in to fill in that space just out of the woodworks, and you're not even going to know what happened. Okay, so if you're interested in knowing how to do that, please join me for the webinar. Thank you for watching this long, and if you've watched all 14 minutes of this video, my friend, you might be a merchant priest or priestess. So stay tuned to this series, and I will come back and talk a little bit more about sacred commerce and the new virtual marketplace. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.